students. In previous class we discussed about the world of microorganisms part 2. In that we discussed the topic discovery of penicillin, discovery of smallpox vaccine. Now today also we are going to learn about the same lesson. The topics are different here. The world of microorganisms part 2. In that soil microorganisms, soil fertility, nitrogen fixation, harmful microorganisms. These are the topics today we are going to learn. Now here first topic is soil microorganisms, soil fertility. The microorganisms are very important in fields. They are the friends of farmer. They are the friends of farmer. The microorganisms are very helpful in the fields, especially in some plants. They are very useful. Example, in Leguminaceae family, the Rhizobium bacteria is very important. Here we have given some examples: Rhizobium bacteria, Nasta, Anabina, Ascobacter. So these are the algae. Nasta, Anabina are the algae. They convert the atmospheric nitrogen into the soil fixation. They fix the nitrogen, atmospheric nitrogen. That means gaseous form of nitrogen is converted into the solid form. So that is fixed in the soil. That is utilized by the plants. Example here: Rhizobium, Nasta, Anabina, Ascobacter. These microorganisms are helpful in conversion of gaseous form of nitrogen into the solid form of nitrogen in the soil. They convert the gaseous form of nitrogen to the useful elemental form of nitrogen. So here we can say the main example is in Leguminaceae family. In Leguminaceae family, Rhizobium bacteria is very important in the conversion of the atmospheric gaseous form of nitrogen to the solid form, nitrates and nitrites. They convert the nitrogen into nitrates and nitrites. Here this cooperate one another. picture is given like this. The root nodules are present in leguminous plants. They give shelter to the rhizobium bacteria, and rhizobium bacteria provides nutrients to the plant by absorbing nitrogen from the soil, and they fix the nitrogen in the form of nitrates and ammonia. Then the plants absorb that nitrogen and utilize for its life process. Understood? So again here we have to know one thing. Some farmers, they plow back the leguminous plants in the soil. After harvesting, they again plow back the plants in the soil. For what? For nothing but for this bacteria, for growth of this rhizobium bacteria. They are again useful in next crop. So these are the very important usages of the bacteria, rhizobium bacteria. So these are very important to farmers. No need of applying of other chemical manures. If you use this type of methods in fields, so there is no usage of, no need of usage of chemical manure, chemical fertilizers, no need to use. So that's why farmers use this biopesticides, this type of biological methods. Next topic is here, activity is given. Collect root nodules from ground nuts, beans and pea gram, crush them into powder. Take little powder on a glass slide. Add 1 drop of water or oil. Observe it under compound microscope and discuss with your friends about it. So this we have to do in the laboratory, but there is no chance now. So rhizobium bacteria present in root nodules or bean family called the leguminaceae family. They are very helpful in the fixation of nitrogen in the soil. Next activity also given, activity 6 in the page number 42. Take 2 pots or dig 2 pits in the corner of garden at home or at your school ground. Fill them up to half with loose soil. Put some biological waste like fallen leaves, vegetable waste papers, etc. in one of them. Fill the second one with plastic waste, polythene bags and with some empty glass bottles. Now cover the pits with some loose soil. Sprinkle some water on pots or pits. Do this every day. After 3 or 4 weeks, remove the upper soil and from pits and observe the changes. What changes do you observe? In which pit did the materials decompose? The pit which you kept leaves, vegetable waste, that is decomposed and mixed in the soil. And the remaining another pit what you dug, that pit what you kept the polythene bags and all waste materials, that may not decompose. You might have observed the same thing happen in your surroundings. The vegetable waste and plant waste, animal waste may decompose in the soil, but the plastic waste may not decompose. So the microorganisms present in the dead bodies of animals and soil and in the air decompose the plant bodies and the animal body parts. They decompose and they mix in the soil. So like this, the microorganisms are helpful in the cleaning, cleaning the environment. They are helpful in cleaning the environment. If there are no microorganisms, think how our world may be, how our earth it is. If there is no microorganisms, we can't bear the situation. Everywhere there is wastage, everywhere there is dead bodies, everywhere there is plant waste, everywhere there is animal waste. So microorganisms are very helpful. They are very helpful to us. Bacteria are useful in cleaning sewage. So they are helpful in sewage, water, oil, sleeks, formed due to leakage of oil from tankers or of ships in oceans. This kills marine animals because of shortage of oxygen and light. In transportation, sometimes the leakage of oil tankers may occur in oceans and seas that may form the oil seeds on the oceans and seas. So then the microorganisms do not get sunlight and the organisms do not get sunlight. So that's why there may be no growth. So that's why so many microorganisms, so many animals may die in the marine animals may die in that oceans and seas. Introducing oil-eating bacteria can safeguard aquatic marine animals from oil seed. So, where there is leakage of the oil in the oceans and seas, in that place we have to introduce there the oil-eating bacteria. Then we can save the marine animals. Next, harmful microorganisms. These also you know, but we will discuss once more. You know that some microorganisms are harmful. What are the harmful microorganisms? That are nothing but disease-causing microorganisms. Some microorganisms cause diseases. So that are called pathogens. What are that? They are called pathogens. Example, here some microorganisms cause diseases called common cold, typhoid, smallpox, chickenpox, swine flu, tuberculosis, chickenpox. These are called communicable disease. Nowadays, the COVID-19 is also one of the communicable disease, and this also we can say this is also caused by the COVID-19 very small virus. This is also one of the microorganisms. This is very dangerous. That's why we got this situation. We are learning the lessons in online classes. Otherwise, there may be the offline class. So, why the situation got to us? By microorganism only. So, here we can say microorganisms also very harmful. Some are very useful, some are very harmful. So, the disease causing microorganisms are called pathogens. Example, the diseases, communicable diseases are common cold, swine flu, and conjunctivitis. Next, now this corona. Next, typhoid, smallpox, chickenpox, tuberculosis, TB. Next, chickenpox, chikungunya. These are all the communicable diseases. And here we have given one activity. Disease causing microorganisms in human beings. Meet a doctor of your locality and ask him about the different types of diseases caused by different microorganisms. Note them down and discuss with your friends. Recall the microorganisms are present everywhere in our surroundings. Microorganisms which cause diseases are called pathogens. Okay, here you have to do this. We go to the primary health care center and ask which type of diseases are common in rainy season, which type of diseases are common in winter season and in summer season. This once you consult the PHC, means primary health care center or the government hospital in your area, and once ask the nurse or a doctor, and again you note down in your notebook. Here, next one is the topic is pathogens. Here we have to know one thing. Some diseases are caused by the microorganisms, not all diseases. Here some that are called communicable diseases. Some diseases do not communicable, that are called non-communicable disease. They cannot spread from one to another. They are called non-communicable diseases. Example, diabetes, the heart attack we say that, and BP, sugar disease. No, that type of disease may not spread from one to another. Next, again here, common cold and swine flu. Next, this corona. polio. Next here we can say chicken pox, smallpox. Next chikungunya. Next this corona. These are the viral diseases. Some are the bacterial diseases. Typhoid and tuberculosis are the what? Bacterial diseases. Bacterial diseases. What are the bacterial diseases? Typhoid and tuberculosis. Next, some are the protozoan diseases. Example, malaria. Malaria is a protozoan disease, not bacterial or not the viral disease. Malaria and diarrhea are the what? Protozoan diseases. Here we can say some diseases spread with vectors. Here we have to know what is a vector. Vector is nothing but some insects or some animals carry disease-causing microorganisms and they transfer the microorganisms to one place to another place. So that's why we got some diseases. We suffer from some diseases. Example, we can say malaria. Here we have to know one thing: the mosquitoes. When mosquitoes bite us, when the mosquito bite the patient of the malaria, when mosquito bite the malaria patient, and again if it bite us, at that time the microorganisms, the pathogens, the protozoa present in that patient is transferred to us by the mosquito. So that's why we will get that disease. We may suffer from that disease. Now here the mosquito transferred the disease. So that's why that is called as a vector. And some diseases just like typhoid. So by flies, house flies. The house flies hop on the garbage and they hop on the excreta of the patient. So at that time, the microorganisms present in that garbage and excreta, animal excreta, that may transfer from through the houseflies. When the houseflies hop on food materials, the microorganisms transfer to the food. So then, if that food is consumed by the human beings or the man, at that time the disease-causing microorganisms enter into the body of the human being. So now the typhoid disease may spread. Typhoid and tuberculosis, TB, like this diseases spread by the houseflies. How? With houseflies. So now the housefly is the vector here. What is the vector? Housefly is the vector here. So I think you have understood clearly. The disease-causing microorganisms are spread or transferred by some animals or insects that are called vectors. Okay, this vector word is also important. Here, one scientist, Dr. Ronald Ross, discovered that malaria disease is spread by the female Anopheles mosquito. Who discovered this one? Dr. Ronald Ross. Dr. Ronald Ross discovered that the microorganisms transferred by the female Anopheles mosquito and the disease-causing microorganisms enter into the body of the patient by the female Anopheles mosquito. Then the patient is suffer from the disease called malaria. For the discovery of this, he got the Nobel Prize in 1902. For the discovery of this, he got the Nobel Prize in 1902. So some microorganisms are harmful, we said no. So here the BT. What is BT? BT means Bacillus thuringiensis bacteria. This bacteria releases some toxins which kill the pests in the fields. Pests or microorganisms, the pests or insects in the fields. So the BT Bacillus thuringiensis transgenic crop plants are created. So the gene is modified with the Bacillus thuringiensis genes and prepared some cotton plants, BT cotton Why? Because of the Bacillus thuringiensis bacteria produce the toxin. That toxin kills the pests. So that's why this type of gene is modified